Hello, Anthony.
Hello, Claudine.
We're here today to talk about offer in compromise with the IRS.
One of my favorite topics.
People want to know, how much money can an offer in compromise save me? How much can my tax attorney save me? How much should I offer? What percentage should it be?
What's the percentage of them accepted?
Exactly.
I think we're going to answer all these questions.
We are. Let's start with the basics.
Okay.
What is an offer in compromise?
An offer in compromise is the deal you have with the IRS usually because you have a limited ability to pay over the remaining collection period.
Got it. I think I was surprised when I found out you can negotiate with the IRS.
Absolutely.
But it's possible.
Yes, it is.
So some factors taken into consideration if you are going to do an offer in compromise are your ability to pay, your income, your expenses, your asset equity, and they also go back about 10 years to see if you've liquidated any assets.
Right. If you've liquidated any assets, you get into a tricky word here. This is scary. Warning, 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 warning. This is where they'll say dissipated asset. This is like if you had something and you gave it to a buddy, hey, man, let me stick in your name because I want to deal with the IRS. They're hip to that one.
Yeah.
It's called a dissipated asset, so they'll put it in the equation as if you still have it.
You can't gift it to your cat, Bernie. If you recently filed for bankruptcy, you will not be eligible.
Mm-hmm.
And something we've recommended over and over is do not use the pre-qualifier tool if you come across it on irs.gov.
Yeah, it's possible it gives you the right result, but it also can give you the exact wrong result.
Yep. Okay, before we get into how much money you could possibly save, your offer could be rejected. So some of the reasons why that might happen is you aren't current. First thing we tell all our clients, make sure you're current.
Do not run up a new liability. One of the things of getting an offer in compromise accepted is that after it's accepted and paid, you have to be good for 5 years. That is, you file everything on time and don't run up a new liability. If you're not being current and withholding the right amount, if you're running up a new liability as the offer is being processed, an offer examiner is going to look at it and say, no, we're not going to take it because the second we accept it, you file your return, you're going to default it. What's the point of us taking it?
Yep.
And then what's the point of you filing it because you're going to have to pay some money with your offer in compromise that's just going to go away. So don't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Substantiate your offer. I always thought that when you're dealing with the IRS, it's strictly a numbers game. But what I've learned is you need to tell a story. Mm-hmm. Here's the reasons why I can't afford to pay. Make sure you give all of the information.
And documentation is huge. And it's completely, an offer in compromise is completely different than filing a tax return. Tax return, you put your numbers down and you staple things to it. And unless you're audited, they're going to assume you're correct, mm-hmm. right? But an offer in compromise is more like an audit because they're auditing your income and they're auditing your assets. And so when we do an audit for a client, it's a package that's fairly thick to demonstrate that these were legitimate expenses. Same thing with an offer in compromise. If your offer in compromise is the booklet and a couple things stapled to it, I think you're going to have a hard time. If it is, well detailed and annotated so that somebody could follow along with everything that you're saying and you're making it as easy for them and respecting their time mm-hmm. by giving it them in a highly organized fashion, you have a very good chance of getting it accepted.
Yep. So that's the same. You want to base it on your reality to pay. So you can't trick the IRS.
Right. And if you're taking shortcuts, just because you don't have the ability to pay the IRS in full doesn't give you an excuse to take shortcuts on the offer in compromise. You actually have a harder job. You need to prove you're the one with the burden and give them the documents, and they might really find in your favor.
Right. All right. So how much money can an offer in compromise save me? Am I going to be paying pennies on the dollar, Anthony?
Well, I guess so. But if you pay 99 pennies on the dollar,
that's
right?
Still pennies on the
still
dollar.
Pennies on the dollar. This is somewhat it's a question that does bother me. And it bothers me because people get the wrong idea. The underlying assumption and the way a lot of tax resolution companies have promoted the offer and compromise program over the years, is as if it's a good thing you owe the IRS money because look at all the savings you can have. And I remember Ronnie Deutsch, her pleasant face. She was the first one I remember seeing the ads for in the New York market. Mm-hmm. And she was very hostile. Save money with the IRS. Pennies on the dollar. Look at all this. What are people saving? Don't you want to be one of them? Like, what is this about? I didn't even, this was before, I think she started even while I was in law school. So I'm like, what the? I don't get this. Mm-hmm. It just seemed like a scam, whatever it was. okay, but I didn't really put my shoes as somebody who owed the IRS money. Now, if you owe the IRS money, you're like, yeah, man, this is really scary. Oh, so I can get out of this? All right, I'll give this lady a call. Of course, I think she was disbarred by the state of California. And it's sort of a dishonest marketing trick to say, hire me and you'll pay less to the IRS. Mm-hmm. Now, look, we do offers and compromise all the time for people. We save people money all the time. But something I don't do is promise them a particular result, nor do I want to. Asking how much money you can save with the IRS is the wrong question to ask. What you should be asking is, can you end my tax problem forever? Because that's what you want. And here's a story I want to tell you, and it happened very recently. And it's just something that is the reason why I do these YouTube videos, and I want to get people to think of things in the correct perspective. Because it's a disaster. It's a tragedy. And I wish I could have gone back in time and done something to help this person at the time. And this is somebody who I saw in the office, and they told me their story. And as I was peeling back the layers of things, it was basically this. In 2006, they owed a whole bunch of money to the IRS. Mm-hmm. Okay? And they really owed the money. They had a whole bunch of assets. They had some properties, some investment properties. And the IRS came and said, the revenue officer came and said, you got to sell those houses to pay us off right now. Okay. Now, they didn't represent themselves. It was a revenue officer who came out to visit them. They didn't think to hire, an attorney to represent them, so they dealt with the IRS themselves. Well, what are you going to do? You got to pay the IRS, right? So they liquidated their investment property, paid the IRS $200,000. But during that time, and here's the thing, during that time, they still had other liabilities that they still had yet to file. Mm-hmm. So they owed money for other years. So they paid $200,000 to the IRS, and it didn't solve the problem because they filed returns owed $100,000. And then for that 2006 tax return, guess what? They had a huge capital gain. They owed $100,000.
Oh, crap.
So they're right back to the exact same position they were. They paid off the IRS in full, but didn't. Mm-hmm. It came roaring back. So there's somebody who, if they hired me in 2006, hey, Anthony, how much are you going to save me? Why should I hire you? How much are you going to save me? I would say, I don't know if I can. And actually, in that case, I wouldn't. But I could tell you what, we'd end this problem. Mm-hmm. Because I would have told you, don't sell those properties. The IRS is full of it. You do not need to sell that property. What we could do is take a loan against it. And if you need some time to pay the IRS, we'll get that time. So you don't incur some stupid liability that you can't afford to pay now. All right, so get the loan, and now guess what? We're going to deduct that loans from lower your taxes. So for all these years, for the next 10 years, while you're paying back the loan for the IRS, you're lowering your taxes. That's what I would have done, number one.
Wow.
And number two, I would have had everything filed at the time, so we knew what we were dealing with. But the IRS is just taking a piece of it. Oh, we want this. And that's really the thing. They're fine sort of just taking whatever you have today. They don't care if you run up a new one. They don't care if your life is ruined. And that's really what happened. In this case, this woman just kind of was like dealing with the IRS. She did hire J.K. Harris.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And by the way, and I told her, I said, I did buy their expired domain. J.K. Harris Tax Team, I think, was their website. Mm-hmm. I bought it for $8. I do have it. It actually redirects IRSMedic. I was like, I saw that. I was like, I got to do this. Nobody else wanted it. And I just like, yeah. So, hey, I got it for pennies on the dollar, J.K. Harris. Right. That's pretty good. She hired them, and, they just, additional taxes, because they were just giving her a line of it. So, additional taxes. Finally, she went to CPA, who helped her out, felt sorry for her, got her into a repayment plan. Mm-hmm. Maybe could have gotten an offer and compromise at the time. But this is what I'm trying to say, is that if you're getting an offer and compromise in and accepted, that's not necessarily great. That the IRS is giving you a break for a reason. Because you don't have anything, or you don't have a lot. If she paid her tax liability in 2006, she would have been in a much better position. Mm-hmm. It would have been solved. And she wouldn't have done, if she did it correctly, it would have been solved, and then in the next 10 years of her life wouldn't have been the complete misery.
Right.
Because what I saw was a completely hopeless woman. I was like, yeah. She goes, how much money can you save? I said, probably a lot now. I mean, probably you're underwater on everything. Your life is pretty sad. You don't have the ability to pay it. Mm-hmm. If you filed bankruptcy, it would probably go away too. You have that option. So what's the IRS really going to get? Because you're going to offer this, and you're like, well, if you don't take it, I'll file bankruptcy and see you later. But is that really what you want? I think the point is there, there's millions of people in the world who never saved 1 cent with the IRS by filing an offer in compromise. And they're doing okay. So when you're filing and saving money on offer in compromise, there's something wrong in your life that's causing you stress. Mm-hmm. You're not enjoying life to its fullest. It's great that we're getting a break on your taxes, and we hope to. But the reason why we want to get a break on it is because we need something that will actually resolve it. If it's too much money, well, you can't pay it, you'll default it, and it will just go on and on and on. The IRS will levy, and you'll go backwards. So if we're negotiating it down, you're paying less because that's actually all you can pay. That is actually what you can pay.
Yep. It's
not that there's like, hey, look at this. Living high on the hog, paid less to the IRS, got mad money. No. It's not like that at all. You get an offer in compromise because there's something wrong in your life and you need a break. You really need a break. But why do you need a break?
So there's no set number. If anybody, if you go to someone and they say, I will save you 25%, 50%.
It's complete crap. There's not a percentage. And I know that there's some people who market out there, and I mean, this is a thing, and this is something that we're doing, that we're switching. You got to really realize when someone's offering you a free consultation, and we've been doing it for years, but now at this point, we're done. We're done because we actually tell people legal advice during our consultation. Mm-hmm. And now I'm realizing that all these other people in the world who are giving free consultations, it's just a sales pitch. They're not telling you anything. They're just giving you a sales pitch to get your money.
Probably scaring you.
Right. They're going to scare you. They're going to prey on your ignorance. They're going to overpromise on things that they'll never have to promise to you. They're just salespeople. They're not the one who's going to be responsible. Hey, you said I was going to save all this money, and I didn't. What's this all about?
Never trust anyone who promises a specific resolution from the IRS.
Right. And that's a great, because somebody could say, somebody comes in our office, hey, how much, what am I looking at for a settlement? I don't know, because we have a whole bunch of work to do. We have 40, 50 hours of work to get our package here. And now I'm going to say, okay, according to our calculations of what we know, here's our deal that we're going to get through with the IRS. Well, even if I have that in front of me, I don't have a guarantee that the IRS is going to follow its own rules.
No.
And I don't have a guarantee the IRS isn't going to if the IRS doesn't like you, if they think you're a dirtbag, they're going to say, no, you know what? Here's the thing about the offer in compromise. Basically we have to take the offer in compromise as what if a member of the public finds out that we gave this person a deal? Are you a likable, sympathetic enough person? If they think that, if you have convictions for things that aren't so nice, they'll say, yeah, your numbers make all sense, but we just don't like you. So how about that? File bankruptcy? Fine. We're not going to give you a deal. So there's discretion. So even if your numbers are 100, I have the whole package in front of me. How much are you going to save me? I don't know. We have to go through it. We have to appeal. There could be additional facts that come up along the way. So I don't know. And it's just that's the wrong question to ask. The question to ask is, how can I get this tax problem done forever so that I'm not wasting any energy on this, how it doesn't suck away any joy in my life? I mean, having a tax problem for 16 years, right? Yeah. That's going to do something to you.
Yep.
That's going to do something to you. And that's what you need to end. So when you have and every big tax problem starts small.
It's true.
So maybe hiring someone when it's small is the best return on your investment than waiting till it's huge. And all right, it's an easy case, and the cases do get easy. If you are dead broke, that's an easier offer in compromise.
Yep.
Because what else are they going to get? And sometimes you're going to offer the IRS. We've gotten offers accepted for $50.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can. But that was actually a good deal for the IRS.
Yeah.
Because here's somebody who's never going to get a dime, ever. And it's obvious. But the person just like, well, I just want it gone. Okay.
There you go.
$50? Okay. And the IRS is like, yeah, we'll take that $50. But think about that. The most powerful collection agency in the world says, $100,000, $50, $50.
$50. There's no equation for that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. You can comment and like below. You can also visit IRSMedic.com if you need any help. Thanks for watching. IRSMedic, the law offices of Parent LLP. Real tax attorneys for tough tax problems.